live now. Hello, Happy Talk Tuesday. Instagram is doing its own thing, so I'm not sure that the alerts will go out or that we will have a full house, but I am under assignment to do this every week. And so this is what we're doing. And so I'm excited to have our guest for today. He is a rock star in my mind. And so I am looking forward for you all to learn more about him, be inspired by his story, and to just see how we can learn and grow together. And so here we are. Last night I went to a Christmas party for church and I had a good time. It was good to be in community with people. I wasn't going to go because I was just like, I don't know, it's cold. But cold in LA, I know. But I had a really good time. And so in this season, I am really embracing being in community and experiencing new things. When you are working and on the road and just like head down, it's easy to just get caught up in other things. And so I'm happy I was able to slow down. I am able to slow down. I know. I do miss the snow a little bit. You see I have this snowed out tree in the back. But that's all I really want for real, like on a daily basis. But I am trying to make it to Big Bear before the season's out. So as we wait for Justin to come in, actually maybe I should ping him. I just want to also mention that Affirmed Armor is still available for you to purchase for your holiday gifts. I'm wearing a hat that is pre-made and ready to go. Your loved ones can have it before Christmas, and also our one of our sweatshirts that has Affirmed Armor on the chest and I'm enough on the sleeve. Woo-hoo. You see it? Perfect. Okay, let me see about getting Justin in. Hello. How are you? Welcome. Happy Talk Tuesday. We are on the lookout for Justin to join. I just sent it to him. Justin. Justin has joined. All right, here we go. Maybe. All right.
What up?
What's up? Happy Talk Tuesday, Justin.
What's up? How are you?
I am well. How are you today?
I'm good. Can't complain. Relaxing, enjoying the
Amen.
day.
I love it. I'm happy I'm able to get you in a moment where you're not on stage and you are not traveling the world. I mean, you still may be traveling the world in this moment, but super excited to have you here with us today.
Appreciate
Um, So, the reason for this podcast is to get to know the person who I'm talking to learn about their career path, their idea of success, and like the tips and motivators that they use along the way. And so, Justin, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you are doing currently for work?
okay. Justin Deas. I am 32 years old. I'll be 33 on Saturday. Um,
Hey,
Originally from Charleston, South Carolina, born and raised. I've been in LA now for about 7 years. I'm currently in the music industry, so I do a lot of different things. primarily tour with different artists, working with artists, putting their shows together, musical directing, playing piano live on stage. I'm also in the studio, creating records, working on film scores, doing just about the whole nine.
Just a little bit of
Just a
that.
little bit.
All right, no big deal. Okay, so Justin, when you were a little boy back in the day, when you thought about like what you wanted to do when you grow up, what was it? And like what was the motivating factor behind that?
Well, my cliche answer is I just knew I was going to be in the NBA.
Ah, okay. What team did you want to play for? What position?
Uh, I was going to be a point guard for sure, but with team, I didn't really have a specific team.
Hmm.
Random fun fact, I actually did play basketball. I was very good. I was on my high school team. When I started taking music seriously, I started missing games, so coach
Uh,
basically gave me an ultimatum to choose.
mm-hmm,
I mean, I
mm-hmm.
chose music. Hopefully, that was the right choice. But other than that, surprisingly, I wanted to be a some type of architect.
I
I think
wanted to be an architect too.
for real,
Crazy. Okay, go. Go, go, go. Yeah.
yeah, I just love like anything that has to do with like building, creating like a space, if that
Mm-hmm,
makes sense.
mm-hmm,
So I
mm-hmm.
just that was like my number one thing.
Okay, I love that. Frank Lloyd Wright's still like top tier. Like I want to get to Falling Water so bad.
Right.
Um, okay, so beyond that, okay, thank you. That's dope. So, I mean, you're still creating essentially,
Of course.
and creating spaces as well. Or setting, the mood for spaces and such. So when you wanted to be an architect, or maybe even in the MBA, what or how would you have defined success, or like what did it look like to you when you were that young boy?
Um, the NBA was just me living out my hoop dreams and being rich.
Mhm.
And the architect was I mean, from research I had did, you you definitely was gonna make money. But like I said, I guess this included with music, but I've always felt like I've just been like a creative person.
Mhm,
So just me being able to design different things, build different things, create different things, not only for myself but for other people was just like
mhm.
something I felt like I love to do.
That's dope. Okay. So you are not in the NBA and you are not
Not yet.
uh yeah, there's still time. There's still time. And you are not actually an architect of buildings. So can you tell us how you got here today to where you are this rock star on stage and in the studio and doing all the things that you just explained to us sooner? So like what was that? I mean, obviously you said you was missing games, so coach was like, hey bro.
Right.
Um, but so okay, so tell me, how did you
um,
like once you decided music, or how did you even know you want to take music seriously? Like when did that happen in high school?
so I I felt like I always like loved music, but when I was young, my parents got me a actually a drum set. They
Mm,
had got me a drum set and my brother like a piano.
okay.
So I was with every musician, everybody's like a drummer first at heart. So that's what I started off with. But honestly, I be telling people all the time, I don't even remember like when I started playing piano.
Mm,
I can't like pinpoint
hmm
it,
hmm
but I know I did. And like I've never took a lesson a day in my life.
Wow.
I taught myself how to like read, how to write. I play by ear. Um, but I was in high school, and one of my older bros from back at home, he's a little older. He actually went out to school in LA, so
Okay.
he got like connected into the industry. And when he got his first like major call, he basically called and was just like, "Are you ready?" I didn't know if I was ready, but I said yes. And
Okay.
I think that was like his way of like basically like he basically showed me all the ropes,
Hmm
took me on like my first tour, being able to experience everything and do all that. So like I always tell people, it's just about like not that your talent won't speak for you because obviously
hmm
people think about you for
Yep.
that, but networking is like the number one. Anytime anybody asks me any question, how did you do this? How did you get there? How did you do that? it's all about who you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I don't even think that just pertains to my industry. I think it's in any field that you are. You can be the greatest doctor in the world, but if you know someone who owns a hospital or doing something, like, you can be, that
Mm-hmm.
can be your connect to,
For sure.
you know what I mean? Like, just networking. So pretty much just, I think, of course, my passion and my drive to learn my craft, but ultimately networking who and you know.
Mm-hmm. Did you play at church?
Oh yeah,
Because I know a lot of musicians start at church, and
yeah,
so
yeah,
then
definitely. My first time I started playing in church, my very first song I ever learned was Donnie McClurkin, We Fall Down, But We Get Up. That's my first song I ever played, but
keys or
started
that
off
was
in church
drums.
on keys, on
Okay,
piano.
good.
Hmm.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's dope. What was your first tour?
ASAP Rocky.
Not too shabby.
Yep.
Not too shabby for a self-taught musician. Okay, that's dope.
Right.
So now that you have air quotes made it, right? What would you say your definition of success is today?
Um, um, honestly, I don't even look at myself as made it,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
Mhm. Well, I
Um,
guess maybe like now that you're in your career or
no, yeah, I
in
get it.
career, how do you define it?
Right, right. I understood your question. I was going, I guess success for me, to me, I don't know if this is weird, but I don't think there's like a limit on
Hmm.
success. I think that for me, I don't ever want to tell myself that I'm successful, because then I feel like I'm putting a limit on myself. If that makes sense. I don't want to ever get
Mm-hmm.
complacent and
Mm-hmm.
feel like, oh, I've made it. What else do I need to do? There's nothing else that I need to do. You know what I mean? So I
Hmm.
look at it like people ask me a lot, like, do you feel like you know what your purpose is? I feel like I know my purpose. My purpose has something to do with music. I'm
Okay.
living in my purpose, but I also look at it as, what if that's not my purpose?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's like a motivating factor to keep
Yeah,
going,
that's
even if it's
good.
something outside of music. You know what I mean? So, like, do I feel like I'm successful? Yes, but my definition of
Hmm.
success, I don't think it, like, if that makes sense, I don't think there is a true definition or of what success looks like to
Yeah.
me.
No, that makes tons of sense. And I also think in like as we grow and we begin to enter new stages in our life,
Hmm.
then your definition of success can also
Right,
change, right?
exactly.
And so I love that you're fluid with it, that you understand that like, I don't want to be complacent. I want to keep going. I want to keep growing. And that's obviously going to take you so much further than you
Right,
are today.
exactly.
So what is something that you know now that you wish you would have known sooner?
Ooh, that's a lot of things.
Okay.
One of the main ones, it got to do with music, but not music.
Hmm.
It's business wise, like just knowing how to handle business, specifically taxes. Man,
Ew.
I started off young and I was making a lot of money when I was young, but I wasn't like up on my business. I didn't know too much about like specifically what I needed to do with taxes or just keeping up with it. And man, did it catch up with me.
Mm.
So that's probably the number one thing I know, just all around business, as far as like just financial
Mhm.
wise, just being that I started so young doing that, young
Yeah,
in the game, if that makes
for
sense.
sure. Learning how to be like a good businessman
Right,
as well as musician
right,
so that you can not lose a lot of the money that you're making.
exactly.
Hmm. That makes sense. That makes sense. What advice would you give to someone who like sees you on stage rocking out or sees you like in the studio? Like, what advice would you give someone who has similar, well, I won't say, yeah, I guess dreams to become a professional musician?
Um, to sum it all up, never give never give up. Never give up your dream, never give up your passion. Like I said, I'll include the networking. For me, that's number one key. Like,
Mhm.
it's all about who you know.
Mhm.
That's always going, you cannot be the best. There's millions of people out here every day. I something I heard someone say I stick by. There's always going to be someone better. So there's someone better than me.
Mhm.
There's someone better than that person. There's
Mhm.
someone better than that person.
Yeah.
But you cannot be the best. But if you have that connection to
Mhm.
someone that you all want to do, and they don't have that connection, it puts you in that position.
Mhm.
So I would definitely say networking. Also practice your craft. Um, that because number one, you always want to be prepared. You want to be ready. You never know when the time may be.
Right.
But one thing I also had to learn that I'm still learning is I feel like I know a lot. I know a lot, but as time progresses, things keep changing. So there have been instances where like I
Mhm.
know everything I know, but I may not be up to date with changing with what I know. You know what I mean? Like there
That's
may be
good.
a software program that, oh, I know how to do this, but oh, wait a minute, they changed that. So keep practicing your craft, like everything that comes with it, whether it's just playing, whether it's just knowing the knowledge, the mechanics behind everything, all of that, and also just never stop. For me, I had a conversation with someone, and they basically just told me like, you know, we started around the same time, and you're doing this, and I feel like I'm still here, yada yada yada.
Mhm.
But I feel like if it's really your passion, just don't stop because you may not be on stage in front of thousands of
Yeah.
people. You may just do it for two or three people. But as long as you're impacting someone, I feel like that should give you a sense of like joy. You know what I mean?
For
And it may
sure.
not be anyone. If it's satisfying for yourself,
Mhm.
so be it.
Yeah, no, I think that's dope. When actually before you joined, I know Instagram has been glitching all week. And this is the main platform that I use for the podcast, right?
Right.
And so I was just like, well, we're gonna do it because this is this is the assignment,
Right.
right? The
Right.
assignment is to get back, start interviewing, start talking to people. And I was just like, if it's 8 people that show up, if it's just me and Justin, like the
Right.
goal is to have this conversation. Someone is going to hear it, whether right now in this moment or when it's posted on
Right.
platforms. And that, you know what I mean? So it's just like I literally said that before you hopped on. It's
Right.
so important to not give up and to show up, even if the people who you're expecting to show up
Hmm.
don't, because
Got you.
it's
Yep.
not for, it may not be for who you think it's supposed to show up. Does that make
Exactly.
sense?
Exactly. That makes perfect sense. I definitely understand that.
Okay, so I'm gonna put in the chat, what's your end goal? Do you have
My, my
that's a good
end
question.
goal.
Yeah, do you
My
have like, oh, I want to play for or play with or have
I
a like
mean,
what's your
yeah, I have those. You give me a a Taylor Swift or someone, I might retire. Just kidding.
okay,
But
okay.
my end goal, I've never been asked that. What is my end goal? My end goal is to, I'm gonna answer it two ways. Number one, my end goal is to be in a position to be able to set up my family and everyone connected to me to
Mm,
success,
that's good.
and also to never be done, if that makes sense. Like
Mm,
I, I feel like I'm so passionate about music, and I'm not necessarily just saying I'm gonna always tour. Anything that has to do with it in some way, shape, or form of music, to always, until I can't anymore, have some type of impact on music that'll affect someone.
that's dope. That's really good. So I want to go back to the networking question or the networking advice that you gave, because I do hear that a lot too. It's just like, oh, wow, you know so many people, or how did you blah 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 blah. Could you give more insight into that networking piece that you mentioned? Because
Yeah, for sure.
I think that
Um,
would be helpful.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, for me, it was uh, just knowing the person. But I think networking, the first thing I'll say is, as much as I hate it nowadays in the current world, social media is maybe the worst thing, but your best friend.
Hmm.
And I think that's also for not just for music, a lot of different industries, but specifically for music, even with artists, even with people you're working with, like if you're staffing for a tour or you're trying to get someone, one of the first things they're gonna ask is what's their social media?
Mm-hmm.
What are they doing? So if you have three different people who you submit, one person doesn't post and the other person they post a lot, they're gonna automatically go towards the person that they can see. You know
See
what I
their
mean?
talent, yeah.
And I tell people like it's like oxymorons because I hate it, and there's no offense if anyone listens. I hate when like I'm constantly getting like video stuff like that. Like I hate it, but I love it. I hate it because it's like, dang, I know I'm not gonna like look at everything, but I also it makes me feel good knowing that people are sending me stuff wanting to like my advice, my approval for something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But don't ever feel like you're like annoying. If you're passionate about it and it's what you want, don't ever feel like you're annoying or bugging someone because number one, you're probably not the only one that's doing it. Number two, that's the main way that people get recognized. You know what I mean? So you can send someone, reach out, post. Like people, whether you think so or not, things get around and people is going to be sending it to each other. People is going to be
Mm-hmm.
viewing it. When someone search, they can do a hashtag.
Yeah.
Be aware of like what hashtags are, what's like trending and stuff because you can get yourself recognizable by that. But also like just in person, there are a lot of networking events that's always going on. Mixers, I guess I'll speak just for like music industry wise,
Mm-hmm.
since we're in LA. I mean, I know I'm sure it's the same in other cities, but especially in LA, there's always some type of listening event. There's always
Mm-hmm.
some type of networking event. There's always studio sessions that are going on where like you can put yourself in those
Yep.
places, in those positions to be able to speak to someone. You may not be able to get to the main person that you want that's up on the stage speaking on the platform, but you'd be surprised who's all in the room.
Mm-hmm.
It might be someone sitting at the table that's with you that put that person up there on that platform to be able to do that. You know what I mean? So
That's
just
good.
not being afraid to communicate and talk and just like put yourself out there.
That's good. So, are you passing out your mixtapes, or you just saying, "Hey, I myself am a musician, and I'm inspired by your work. I would love to connect further." It's like, "Hey, bro, listen to
um,
my."
I don't think there's nothing wrong with either or. I think that would be case by case scenario. Like I feel like you should be able to judge like the environment. You know what I mean? Like if you're at like it depends on what type of networking event, or if you're at a studio session, or you meeting someone just random somewhere. Nothing wrong with having a conversation, be like, here, check me out. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But I mean, versus if you're at like, say you're at like some type of gala or something, or just something that's more a little more exclusive. You
Mhm.
have, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'll just, hey, this is who I am. I'm a
Mhm.
big fan. I've studied, da, da, da. And then I think in that instance, it might be like, this is my social
Mhm.
media. You can check out certain things here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus like, here, listen to my mixtape. You know what I mean?
Oh man, I just watched the Shine documentary,
Hmm.
and he said he handed Jay-Z his
Right.
mixtape, and he said someone told him later that like he just threw it out the window.
Right.
Um, but I mean it was memorable, right?
Right.
He did.
Exactly.
Okay, no, I think that's great, and thank you for letting me circle back on that, because I think especially in all industries, it's easy to like really aspire to do or be
Hmm.
something, but you like sort of get like you're not sure how to put yourself out
Right.
there. And you can do so in a really awkward way, or you can do it in a way
Right.
that sort of goes with the flow. So thank you for just giving your advice on that.
Right.
Okay, so I am not only just the host of this podcast, I have a clothing brand, Affirmed
Is
Armor.
that what
Um,
that is? I was getting ready to
yeah,
ask, where can I get
rocking
that?
a little, affirmedarmor.com. We remind you about truths that you may have forgotten about yourself, or allow you to, wearable declaration like on the hat, it says I am enough, but for this one, it's just on the chest, and then the messaging is on the sleeve. I am enough. There you go. But that is our goal, right? To inspire and empower. As you've been going through your journey, what are some affirmations or scriptures or mantras? Like, what are some things that you've said to yourself to keep you going through tough times?
I have one thing that I say almost every day: stay ready, don't gotta get ready.
Hmm.
And I still don't don't know where that came from. I feel like I heard it a long time ago.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
for me, that, of course, with my career, but I think for me, that's life, whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually, financially,
Mhm.
emotionally, everything. I feel like that's just something that empowers me to feel like to always have a step ahead, if that makes sense. Like if I'm ready in any certain situation, circumstance that life may bring,
Mhm.
I'll be prepared for whatever it is. That's like my number one thing.
I love that. And I think it's important to have that mindset. But what happens when audition for something, or like you have your mindset on getting the call for, this next tour, and like the phone doesn't ring, or they hit you with that unfortunately email. Like how do you get yourself through that?
I think for me, it's if that were to happen, I feel like I
Because
would.
he's saying actually that I've never experienced that. So
I mean, no, but I mean, I can, I guess I can speak on it. I guess just like I said, for me, I'm not like, and I think everyone deals with stuff different, but for me, I don't think, I feel like I know that there are millions of opportunities out there. So, like you said, if that were to happen, of course, you'd be upset about it, but I'd look at it like, okay, that's not what God had for me. What's the next one that I can go for? And if I get 100 of them back to back, no, thank you. We're gonna go another way. I'm gonna wait for the 101st one to come through. Like like I said, I think it's a mentality thing where like I feel like if it's my passion, if it's what I want,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna stop until I feel like I've succeeded and excuse me, reach that goal of what I want to do. Like if I ever just did one tour in my life, I felt like I would have been proud
Mhm.
because I know how I feel passionately about the music.
Mhm. No, that's good. Thank you. Mindset, incredibly important, but that also taps back into your uh stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? Like
Right,
it's just like,
right.
okay, well,
Hmm.
next.
Right.
Okay, dope. So, before I ask you the last question, I want to say thank you for saying yes. Thank you for sharing your journey with us.
Thank you for the
How,
opportunity.
of course, how can we support you? Do you have any projects coming up, or is there anything that we can do? How do we follow you and stay in touch with what you've got going on?
Yeah, yeah, I've got a couple projects I'm working on with different artists right now. Can't talk about it, but if you follow me on Instagram, social media, my name, Facebook is Justin Deas. Those are really the only two social medias I'm on. I definitely will be posting the release dates and announcements coming. Um, I'm done for the year now for touring and stuff. I've had a pretty eventful year, so I usually take the last month or so of the year anyway to just relax, recoup, regroup,
Mm-hmm.
unwind, enjoy family, enjoy the holidays. So as far as like being everywhere, touring music wise, maybe next year.
Okay.
I keep saying I'm retiring, so we'll see. But yeah, if you follow me, I'll be posting updates and stuff, and I'm also starting to work on my own project as well, so that'll be releasing next year as well too.
So, well, I look forward to seeing it. We'll have your information in the show notes. Okay, so last question. Um, I am Ashley, the amateur expert, and I know just a little bit about a lot. So, what is something that I can say Justin taught me?
That I taught you.
Hmm. Or like it could be a Snapple fact that you learned, but just like something that's random or not random, but
Oh, I
something that I
got you.
can be like, oh,
I got you. Um, that I I have a dual citizenship. Random.
that is very, very random. Where?
And I want Japan, and I keep saying that I want to live in Tokyo. That's like my favorite place in the world. I've been in like a million times. I want to live there for at least a year of my life.
Would have never expected that. Do you speak any Japanese?
Not at all.
Okay, okay. That would have been like a double.
Right.
Okay, so what makes Japan so special to you?
Um, I love number one the culture. just the people there, the environment, the food. I feel like it's also a very progressive place, so I feel like I would never get complacent there. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like continuously moving and growing.
Dope. Yeah. Wow. Mine is blown for real on that one. Well, thank you again. This has been fun. I learned a lot, and I look forward to seeing all the things that you're working on next year. And I hope everyone has a great week, and we'll be back. Also, I need us to do something that's very awkward. We have to be still and like smile or whatever, like your cool poses.
Okay.
Thank you, Robin. Robin's like photo time. Exactly. So that we have a cool thumbnail.
Right. Okay.
And so Instagram takes a few seconds to like,
Of course. Yep.
so we just got to be still and smile for like 10 or so seconds. You ready? Let's do it. All right. Thank you, Justin. Everyone have a great week. We'll see you
You too.
soon.
Happy holidays.
Bye.